Yo, 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 what's poppin'? It's your boy Cassius Cuvée, and this is the come up. And you about to know how things went down at the Influencer Awards. Let me jump on here one time, but what's going on, y'all? Shout out to the Profit Circle. That's the private Discord group, and all my wave makers doing their thing. Ooh, I gotta turn down this. I got the show on the side. I got laptops down here. I got everything going on. You guys seen the setup before if you've been following me closely. Woo! What a weekend it has been already. If you start counting Thursday, Friday, when I hosted the Influencer Awards. Let me make sure y'all can hear me out there. What's up to the chat? Say something in the chat if you're rocking with your boy Cassius Cuvée right now. I definitely want to make sure that y'all can hear me before we get started, man. We got a big day today. We're going to jump into the charts. You know what I'm saying? We got big things popping in crypto. We got a Blockchain Cowboy in the chat. Servando in the chat. All set in the chat. What's up, y'all? Make sure you drop an emoji in there so I know you're listening and vote in the poll. And this is the come up with your boy Cassius Cuvée. Now, I know we like to start with usually a music video or something to get things popping. But this time, my intro actually worked. They let you do a preview. I'm sure you guys have seen other YouTube channels where they go live and they show a preview. It wasn't working for me this whole time. And finally this morning it worked. So shout out to the chat for letting me know. Servando was like, hey, it was a good intro. I'm like, man, I'm glad it worked. It don't always work. So Riley Lewis in the house. What's popping, Riley? Oh my God, you guys. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff to cover today, but first, nothing I say on this show is ever financial advice. You should do your own research. This is, what I'm seeing in the markets and how I trade, and I'm trying to give you all some game. I got a couple new ideas where I can give you guys a whole bunch of nuggets of trading ideas. I got a wealth of knowledge in my brain. I've been doing this for over 5 years. Man, I've been featured on CNBC, the Wall Street Journal. If you guys don't know, I'm a recording artist. I performed at the Influencer Awards as well as hosted them and also won an HODL award myself. I keep the belts back there. I'll bring it up and show you guys in a second. But I also have, I need to disclose that these are affiliate links on the screen. So I'm a partner with Breakout Prop and Phemex. You get a discount if you use my affiliate code there for Breakout Prop whenever you purchase an eval, and Phemex, when you use that invite link and that invite code, you actually can get free access to my private Discord, the Profit Circle. All they're going to do is ask you to put in your user ID. I have a bot inside Discord, and that'll get you access to become a verified wave maker. All you do is put in your information in WAP. It'll clearly say 1 year for free. Anyways, we got Henry in the house. What's up, Hen Dog? What's good? What's popping, man? Crypto's popping. It looked like ETH hitting 4,300 made Henry jump back into chat. So good to see you, Henry. Man, okay, you guys, I don't know if we should jump right into it. I got music videos and shit I want to show you. Okay, first of all, I just want to give a big congratulations to all of the influencers who won and who was even nominated for the Influencer Awards. Your boy Cassius Cuvée was the host of the show. Shout out to my man Adam Charles, who organizes it. He thought he wasn't going to be able to make it. He asked me to step in and be host. I said, no problem. Of course, I got you, brother. So flew down there, hosted the awards. Is at the same time as the Rare Evo conference, which is used to be more Cardano based. I performed at it in 2023, but it's kind of expanded more. So it's just a much larger crypto conference right now. I met the CMO of Algorand there. They had a big presence there. First time I met Mark, he's hella cool. Tweeted out my stuff. He's been following me on Twitter since he first joined the Algorand team. So shout out to Mark. And man, it was exciting seeing all of my influencer friends and everything like that. But definitely hosting the show, presenting everybody. Check my social media if you haven't seen any of the clips. I'm going to show a clip of the performance on here. My Bitcoin bestie, Randy Hipper, was not there to accept the award, so I actually accepted on our behalf. I don't have the full clip yet from the event that shows like the whole event yet, so I can't. I'm just getting footage from people who filmed me while I was on stage. So I want to show this one clip to Randy Hipper. The next day, we actually picked up the rest of the belts. Adam couldn't get all the belts the first time. What's up, All Set? And so at the show, we only had a couple of belts to kind of showcase off. But the next day at Rare Evo, which was the last day of the event, people came up to the booth, the Hedera booth, and collected their belts. So I snatched up Miss Teen Crypto Randy Hipper's belt. So I'm going to just show you guys a clip of that. I sent this to her, a text message. Congratulations to Miss Teen Crypto Randy Hipper for winning Best Live Event at the 2025 Crypto Influencer Awards at Rare Evo in Las Vegas. She couldn't be here, so your Bitcoin bestie Cassius Cuvée is accepted on your behalf. And we're definitely going to mail this one out to you. Congratulations. Congratulations. All right. So, yeah, shout out Randy Hipper for winning, man. Congratulations. She puts in the work every single day, as do everyone else who was on there. So, I got to definitely rep for my Bitcoin bestie. But, man, it was an exciting event. You know, the location was pretty cool. As a matter of fact, I could show you guys a quick location shot. Let me see here. Just to show you what the venue looked like real quick, kind of from the long form. I was there early before everybody got in. Let me see. I put it on YouTube. Here we go, right here. This one real quick. This location is kind of big. Setting up the stage. It goes way back there. Setting up the stage behind me. It's going to be a pretty lit event. This location is kind of pretty lit too, man. Here we go back there. It goes way back. Frenzy's in the house. What's poppin', Frenzy? Yeah, man, we're definitely gonna do more today. This is my channel. So look, you notice how it says trading made easy at the top? We're gonna come back to that. I got a lot of stuff I want to cover today. Oh, and one more thing too. Appreciate everybody who shared or liked my rap from last week. This might be my biggest reel ever. I think it says 26,000 views, 29,000 views on here. So this is my biggest YouTube short ever as far as views go. So I like that rap too from last week. So shout out to everybody who shared it, liked it, made a comment, and I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all are the best. Maybe one day Cassius Cuvée will get, I don't know what category I would want to be nominated, other than I won a couple hot awards. I did win best micro influencer in 2022 actually, so that was pretty cool. And man, I mean, honestly, it's almost a bitter honor to host the awards than actually even, get one. I mean, I'm up there on stage celebrating with everybody, which you guys know is what I like to do, is promote this industry for everybody. So that was fun. Here we go. I'm gonna just give you a quick teaser here. So here's Bitcoin popping this week. First it was flat. Ethereum popped first, right? Come on, Ethereum. And then Bitcoin followed. At first I wasn't sure. Because I was like, well, Bitcoin ain't popping. Bitcoin did this and came back down. We're going to come back to that in a second. I want to just tell you a little bit what I'm going to go over in today's show. Real quick in today's show, while everybody's still getting settled in here. So like I said before, not financial advice. He said, that beat got my attention so fast. Which beat, Blockchain Cowboy? Which beat was the one? Are you talking about the market cipher beat at the beginning? All right, so check it out. We're going to go over, congratulations to everybody for sure. It's an honor to host. ETH to $4,300. I'm going to talk about what this means to me and the larger market. We're going to talk about Bitcoin dominance. All right, I teased that a little bit in the Profit Circle general chat this morning. I want to give my perspectives on it. If you guys don't know by now, I don't like just follow the herd when it comes to trading. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Blockchain Cowboy, yeah, the beat last week. Yeah, that beat was epic, bro. I'm telling you, I was listening to that song on loop at the winery. That's why I say in the beginning of that, I was listening to it. I can't even tell y'all about my life. That song was just playing in my head. I just wrote the rap like so quickly because I was just feeling the vibe. But anyways, man, that was that's one of my favorite weekly recap raps right there. But yeah, I just want to go back to Bitcoin dominance here in a second. We're gonna come back to it. I'm just telling you what's in the rundown. But I look at these charts a little bit different than some of the people you guys might see on crypto Twitter. I know I don't have the biggest following in the world and stuff, but one thing you can always count on me to do is give you a dose of reality. Okay, it may not be what you want to hear, but you got to understand. My passion is to keep you guys from getting wrecked. And so make sure you stay tapped into this live stream. Everybody in the chat, shout out to the chat. Stay tuned in. I'm going to come back. This is actually important, and it could protect your bags. This bull run here in this cycle. Things happen faster than you think. Okay, so I'm going to come back to Bitcoin dominance, okay? Let's see, what else we got today? Oh, I hung out with two very important people in crypto while I was there. First thing I did, I got off the plane and checked in, and then I went over and saw 68J. So if you guys aren't following 68J, his channel is called Crypto for Life. 68J was a professional basketball player. He's lived a long life, and he went around. He was a speaker in many places all over the world, and then he found crypto in 2017. And boy, has he come up! So he invited me over to his penthouse, and they were having a party and stuff. And so it was great to meet him in real life and in person and hang out. He's been in crypto for a long time. He's got a YouTube channel. He live streams a lot. Right on, Blockchain Cowboy started following 68J, so follow him. And then, of course, I hung out. When I was at 68J's place, Crypto Face hit me up. He was texting me, and he said, come on down. So, Crypto Face, he's on his own lane, his own time, and everything like that. So I was like, all right, I'm going to hit you in an hour. So then I left 68J, and then went straight to the Cosmopolitan, and we sat down at the high-limit blackjack table. I watched this man kill him on the blackjack table. I swear to God. Listen. This is what I really want to say about Crypto Face, all right? The man's intuition is like nothing I've ever seen before. When it comes to, I don't know if you want to call it trading, gambling, whatever, but like, I don't know, bro. Like, it's a marvel to watch in real time. Obviously, you guys watch his YouTube channel, but like seeing him in person do it and shit is crazy, man. It's crazy. But Crypto Face, that was a great time hanging out. It was just me and him there. I was watching him play blackjack on the high limits table. I was not playing. I was watching him play. But it was dope, man. He was the only one at the table, and the dealer was loving us and shit, and we was having a great time. So, you know, I was asking about market cipher, different things. I got some big news coming up myself that I can't even share you guys yet, but I'm definitely going to have a training course coming soon. I'm going to be developing it with some big partners, and we're going to try to do it big. I want it to be professional and make it look great for y'all. Today also, which leads me to the scalping strategy. I'm getting a lot of requests for scalping. And you know what, guys? I honestly like scalping more than anything. When I told myself I'm going to start live streaming, scalping was like the #1 thing. But it kind of, you know, it's a hell of a thing because it's like you want to have some trades open to talk about them in real time. And like sometimes you want to have swing trades open. But, you know, honestly, I do my best scalping. And I'll tell you why. In a nutshell, it's because it protects my downside risk. My system that I developed, it protects the downside like immediately. And so we're definitely going to go over that. And by the end of this week, I may just start live streaming. Like it won't be an episode of the Come Up with Cassius Cuvée. It might just be me just straight up live streaming on Breakout Prop. You know what I mean? I might just be right over here on Breakout Prop. And I might even be, I'm doing that much talking. You know, I might just be getting in and out of here showing you guys exactly what I'm doing. All right. So let me refresh this while we come back. So anyways, that's about everything. We went over Miss Teen Crypto. And, you know, I gotta say, a lot of people have a lot of strategies when it comes to trading, but they all come down to one thing. I said it once, I'll be a broken record for the rest of my life on this. It comes down to bankroll management, okay? It's not about guessing if you're right or wrong. And Jason Casper had a great tweet about this too. Shout out him. Oh, I can't remember the exact words, man, but I was just like, amen. You know, it was like, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about being prepared. I think it was something those to summarize what he said. And that's kind of what it comes down to, right? You can lose some trades, you can win some trades or whatever, but the main thing is you don't get wrecked. You're prepared for what happens if you might be wrong. And that's kind of what, you know, is my go-to. And I guess I want to say the thing about Crypto Face to say this. Look, we can't all be Crypto Face. It's kind of like the best batting coaches in baseball are not Mark McGwire and you know, and Barry Bonds. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't have the intuition of Crypto Face. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now, that boy got it. Okay, he's the man. And so for me, I have to have kind of a different system in place for me to have long-term consistency trading. And I say that to say this: at the end of the day, everybody is gonna have to find their own style, their own strategy to help them win. And everybody's different than everybody else, right? Everybody's got their own fingerprint. And so you play to your strengths is ultimately what you need to do. And then, of course, there's psychology and all these other things involved. And, you know, we can always talk about it. It's easier to talk about it. And, you know, it's one of those things to talk about it and you be about it. Two different things. But definitely, you're going to find a thing that works for you. And I know people say things just like me. And look at everybody take bits and pieces here and there. Certain things, I don't really give a damn what anybody else is saying. I really don't. You got to figure it out for yourself, because the way you're going to learn is, unfortunately, probably the hard way, where you're going to lose some money and you're going to start to realize, I'm trying to give you the shortcut right now. You're going to start to realize that a lot of people who talk about stuff, they talk about stuff as kind of just like a hot button thing to say. It sounds cool when it's convenient, but really, you know, if they've been in the game long enough, they know it's more so about finding a way to be consistent with your bankroll management. And, you know, I'm not really here to argue with anybody about anybody's technical analysis, but like at the end of the day, man, I'm here to make money. You know what I'm saying? That's why this is not financial advice, but I'm telling you what I want to do. I want to make money. I'd rather be I'd rather be rich than right. If I'm wrong, that's okay, as long as I'm winning or not losing big. And that is kind of one of the biggest things that it's hard when you watch influencers and stuff, because they get a following by trying to tell people they're right all the time. Whereas for me, it's more like I'm trying to teach you to develop a system so even when you're wrong, you're not wrecked. You get what I'm saying? Trying to guess what direction it's going to go in, and you got a 50-50 chance. It's going up or down. But like as far as bankroll management, so you don't get hurt when you're wrong, that's more important. Because I know this is a funny thing to say, but if you don't lose, you will eventually win. And I said that to Crypto Face right at the table. He's like, I know, right? And it sounds rudimentary, right? It sounds elementary. If you don't lose, then you win. But what we really mean is don't get wrecked. If you trade with the trend, you take the small wins, small losses, small wins, small losses, then you catch that big win. And then if you're wrong, you take a small loss. And that's really what it is. Yeah, don't learn the hard way, says Blockchain Cowboy, right? I'm trying to save you guys. And so here's ultimately what I'm coming down to, all right? There's 1,000,001 indicators on TradingView. 1,000,001, man. These are just my favorite ones, okay? Just the favorites, all right? I don't even have most of these turned on. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I need to turn market server AI back on. But I don't have everything turned on because I don't need everything turned on. And, you know, I met somebody at the conference and he's like trying to get into technical analysis. And it's the funniest thing because we all go through this journey where you feel like if I just learn one more indicator, I'm going to find the perfect strategy that's going to make this all come together. Then I'm going to chain them together when I'm going to, you know, make my Fibonacci's come in with my trend lines, and down here I'll have my minimum waves and my money line. And then when I get 5 or 10 things all lined up perfectly, that's when you enter your trade. And I wish there was a formula like that. But trust me when I tell you, if there was, everybody would be doing it. It doesn't work that way. And this is, to me, this is honestly the beauty and the opportunity of trading, right? There's never going to be an AI or a bot or anything that is like just perfect because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I really, really, really want to talk about one thing that's very, very important today. And when we get to Bitcoin dominance, I'm going to go into more details here. But how many of you guys understand why, when we draw lines on this chart, that we say it's support and resistance and trend lines and these type of things? Like, why is technical analysis a thing? And I think a lot of people don't really realize that. I didn't realize it when I was first trying to, you know, learn how to do TA, and I was watching other folks do TA and the shit wasn't making any sense. And a lot of it turned out to be because it wasn't making any sense. A lot of those TA guys are full of shit. And, you know, it seems so great on paper and they quote unquote back test it, but like, bruh, everybody would be rich if it all made perfect sense. Okay. And so, yeah, blockchain cowboy psychology, but there's a very specific thing. This is a price chart. I'm telling you, I need you guys to pay attention to this real quick. I'm telling you about something that's very important that you never hear anybody actually talk about. I'm going to tell you about like the mechanics of the market. Like, this is why things work. Things go up because people buy them and go down because people sell them. Let me show you in Phemex. There's an order book. Okay. Right here. This is the order book. This is the current price of pump, the pump coin. But like, this is what people are trying to sell for, and this is what people are trying to buy for. Now, granted, we could argue over how accurate this is on, you know, this is the Phemex pump perpetual order book. It's not exactly identical to all the order books. Something like Bitcoin is going to be a little more universal. The arbitrage happens more or less instantly on Bitcoin. But you do see weird stuff happening within exchanges. But my larger point right now is that these charts have a purpose and a meaning, okay? This is a price chart. So you can kind of see, I don't even need to draw the line. You can kind of see a price range here that is kind of like a support and resistance price range, kind of between these two white lines here. I'm gonna make this one white. When I draw support and resistance, I like to use white, okay? This is kind of a range right here, okay? And even though I drew these sweeping blue lines, somewhat of a trend line, I don't think that those like mean that much. I think it means a little bit. The fact that it broke out here, it did keep bouncing off. I drew it after I drew these two, and it shit really kind of followed it until it broke out. So now what's the next line of support and resistance would be this white line here is what I'm looking to see if Bitcoin can break over that 119,000, call it 400. And that's what I'm trying to see for breakout for Bitcoin, okay? But the reason is psychology, yes, but it's literally the place where money changed hands. That's the part I'm trying to get to. So like there was a lot of buyers and a lot of sellers at levels of support and resistance. It's where the market decided to say enough's enough. And I'm going to give you guys a real life example. Okay. Shout out to my man. Maybe I'll keep him anonymous here. All right. My man, I've been following him. He's been following trades and stuff with me for a long time. And he was trying to get out of Ethereum. He bought Ethereum at 2,700 somewhere over here, like January, where it was his average price. Let's see, it was probably here, somewhere around, look, yeah, somewhere around here, okay? And about 27.20 was about his average price, okay? Then he rode it all the way down here. He was kind of paranoid. And then look what happened. It came back up to here. We kept cracking just above 27, just above 27, just above 27. And he's like, he kept not taking profit, thinking it was the big one, and it never was. Then this one came down and hit. And then finally he came back here and then he got out. I said, well, you can take half off the table. You know, it's all about bankroll management. But my point is, this was a genuine line of support and resistance here at this 20. It was like 27.25 or something like that. You get what I'm saying? And that was because a lot of money was changing hands there. This is a price chart. It tracks the price of Ethereum, okay? And psychologically, it wasn't just psychologically, it was like financially. I want to get my freaking money back. You get what I'm saying? So there's these numbers here where so much money changed hands at these prices that's why you kind of just like naturally develop some of these support and resistance zones on a price chart. Now here's the part that is potentially controversial. This is Bitcoin dominance. This is not a price chart. Take off my glasses when I say this so you guys know how serious I am. Bitcoin dominance is not a price chart, okay? And I know that a lot of influencers like to look at Bitcoin dominance. I'm the guy who's got to be the jackass and break it to you that there's no such thing as Santa Claus. Bitcoin dominance is not a leading indicator, okay? It's not a price chart. You can't do regular technical analysis on something that's not an actual price chart. It's not spot. It's not an actual thing. It's just a description of what has been occurring. It is a result, okay? So I hate to be the one to say it to you, but you can't really do TA on here. And I'm going to show you some examples of this, okay? So this is Bitcoin dominance. It's great to look at, follow it. You get what I'm saying? We want to know what's going on. For frenzy, we're going to get back. We're going to get back to breakout prop in a minute here later. I'm going to talk about scalping. But this is great to look at, but I'm going to just show you guys a real example. I got to be the one to show you guys the real, okay? This is Bitcoin dominance. This is Ethereum, okay? I'm just compare the two. So we're looking at Ethereum. Finally cracked. We got up to 4,300. We cracked this line of 4,000. This blue line, this white line right here is 4,000 on Ethereum right here, okay? So let's take a look back. When's the last time Ethereum was at 4,000? I already marked it on here. So we got here, we got December. Let me zoom in a little bit. December 16th, down here, December 16th, and December 6th. We cracked it up here, had a double top, right? And then we came all back down. And then before that was way over here last year. In 2024, we had it in the May 27th and in March 17th, or March 12th, excuse me, March 12th down here, okay? And, you know, I'm seeing a lot of reselling, victory laps and stuff because Bitcoin cracked Ethereum cracked 4,000 again. But like, if I go first of all, if I come back to here, this is approximately when Bitcoin made a new all-time high. It was like 73,000 or something like that. Bitcoin's now at 118,500 right now. And Ethereum is only back just above 4,000 again. And we're celebrating this like this is like all of a sudden altcoin season. You feel me? Now, this may be the start of something big. I like the fact that it's actually breaking out above here, making a new high these last years. But this ain't like... If you're an Ethereum investor, if you bought up here, you've been waiting a long time, a year and a half or so, to get your break even. You get what I'm saying here? Like, this is not exactly a victory lap here for a lot of people who bought anywhere between 3,500 and 4,000. You've been down here most of the time. All right, this line here is 3,500. This is 4,000. So the reason why I'm showing you this first is because now I'm going to go back to Bitcoin dominance. All right. Now, obviously, Bitcoin dominance has been going up since then. These are the lines, the same dates. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it. These are the same dates. There's two lines here. Kind of weird showing up on a broadcast, maybe a little different. Same dates though, 16th, right? December 16th and 6th. This is when we saw the double top in Ethereum. And then we go back to, 2024 also, right? And this is my point. I'm gonna ask the audience here. So based upon the Bitcoin dominance chart, when were you supposed to buy or sell Ethereum? Can anybody tell me that by looking at this chart? Because I don't know. And the point I'm trying to make is that it's great to look at a chart like Bitcoin dominance and try to make some opinions about what you think is going to happen with a larger market. But this is not helping me trade. This is not telling me when to press the buy button and when to press the sell button. Because if I was buying or selling Ethereum, I'd damn near be just at break even. Was this the right point to buy it or sell it? Was this the right point to buy it? And then, so then what? Here we are now, right? Here we are now. So what's going to happen? Is this supposed to drop, do one of these straight down? Were we supposed to buy Ethereum here? Or was this the point where we're going to see a bump and then like this? Or, so we're supposed to sell Ethereum here? So I don't, my whole thing is trading made easy, which is why I showed you that on my YouTube channel before at the beginning, because to me, this is not making trading easy. This ain't telling me shit about when I'm supposed to buy and sell. I don't know. This ain't telling me nothing. A lot of people projected different numbers on where they thought, what lines that, I drew a couple on here or where we think what happened my Bitcoin dominance. That's great and all. But like this and amongst a million other indicators, like these are not telling me when to enter and exit trades. Okay. And that is what I'm really trying to drive home to y'all, is that when we're trying to make money, speaking in abstracts and all this other stuff, it makes you sound smart or whatever. But like, when do I buy and when do I sell, bro? Like, that's not helping me. And so if you guys are watching this and you're one of my followers, I tell you all the time, my passion is to keep you from getting wrecked. And I'm going to get into that here in 1 second specifically, because unfortunately crypto will break your heart. Okay. And so now look, first of all, and here's another way of looking at it. Let me get a little more specific. Blockchain Cowboy, you might find this a little bit more interesting. Okay. All I did was ask you about Ethereum, because Ethereum is obviously, the biggest altcoin, but even crazier, is that telling me when to buy and sell? I don't know. We'll go up here, AVAX. You know what I'm saying? What about Tron? Those charts don't look the same at all. What about XRP? Doesn't really look the same as that. What about Solana? Right? These all look incredibly different than Ethereum. So what am I learning from Bitcoin dominance? When am I supposed to buy Ethereum or Solana right here? Or am I supposed to sell it? And what I'm trying to get at is that I don't freaking know. And I never seen anybody explain to me what they would do either, that they know. It's like a fun thing to just talk about when you follow the narrative in the market. Again, that's okay. But like for people trying to make money, I got to cut out the noise. And I got to focus on what is actually telling me when to enter next trades. And per usual, for me, it's always going to be down here first. The oscillator. Market cipher B, those momentum waves. That's what I'm always going to look at first. This should show me the direction of price. It doesn't give me a number or a target. We're going to do that up here to get a target. But down here is telling me like what is the trend showing me. And you got to look at it all time frames too. And that's the other thing that people don't want to talk about, is the fact that something can look one way on one time frame and look different on another time frame. And so I scroll up and down all of these. I literally just will go through them all. And you can see these waves start to roll up into one another. You see what I'm saying? So this is the 4 hour now. What are we on right now? Ethereum, right? So you see how strong it's been, but you start getting to the 1 hour, it gets more choppy, obviously. But look, if we look at it on the daily, we'll start at the daily. Okay, here's Ethereum. Obviously bullish on the daily. Is momentum starting to slow down? Well, to find that out, you got to zoom in. So we're going to look at the 12 hour. We got a red dot on the 12 hour, a pretty high red dot. Doesn't mean it's the end of this move, especially when it's the first one. But it does mean that some of that upward momentum, that fast upward momentum on a big wave, is starting to slow down. That's what that means, right? I like to look at 8 hour to kind of start to tell me if we're seeing somewhat of a peak of a cycle, specifically on Bitcoin, to be honest with you. But every once in a while you do get a little head fake here. I don't think that's the end of it. Really, the end of the cycle would be the mini cycle. I'm saying the mini cycle, like the weeks long cycle. You're going to see a red dot on the daily, but that will probably be after the downward has already started. So we caught this green dot here, and Bitcoin, it was the bottom. And you get your one retrace, boom, it bounced off this little line I drew. And anybody who went long, congratulations, because you got to ride it all the way up, and you're going to ride it up probably until you see another red dot. If you took profit right here, you might have missed some of this, but you caught a pretty nice move to there. And now for me, I'm looking at when to go short again, because things move in cycles. And I could be wrong, and I may get stopped, and I have gotten stopped on some of my altcoins, but like, this is the TA that I'm using, is starting here and then the lines up here. Bitcoin dominance is not something I know how to trade off of. And anybody who shows you that they do know how to trade off of, then say, okay, so when do I enter my XRP trade and when do I take money out? And that's the right question you need to ask them. If they're not telling you, anybody who gives you a price prediction without a time frame is a charlatan. So at least you got to give me a time frame that says it's going to hit this by that date based upon what I'm looking at. Otherwise, just, Bitcoin will go higher. I know Bitcoin's going higher. I don't know when or by how much exactly. It's going higher, So you need to have a time frame. But when I look at Bitcoin dominance, look how much this has already come back down again. I mean, this has been a pretty significant drop from here. And then we had this, and then we're here again. And it's like, even this little bit right here was a pretty big drop in a coin like Meme, which is one of my best trades right now in my copy trading account that I'm shorting, because that little bit, that brought this one back all the way back down to here, basically. That's basically here to here. And so it's like, well, again, I don't know. Bitcoin dominance is, I don't really know what that's telling me, other than it's certainly not telling me when and how to trade. So I just wanted to call that out. I won't dwell on it too much longer. I just want to say that because a lot of people, it's starting to become an epidemic right now on crypto Twitter, and I don't want my followers to get wrecked. And the reason why is because this is what I'm afraid of, because I've seen this movie before, by the way, guys. I told you, I've been doing this for a long time. People are going to say things. They're going to show you their charts. Someone literally pulled out their phone at the conference, and they're going to say, well, altcoin season is going to end when Bitcoin dominance reaches here, whatever line he had drawn, when Bitcoin dominance reaches here, altcoin season is going to end. Come on. And I'm like, what if that doesn't happen? Come on, let me bring this line white. What did that not happen, right? I don't know where they come up with this. You get what I'm saying? Oh, what's poppin', Andrew? And I'm like, you know, because of bounced off here, like doing regular TA on something that is not a price chart is not really technical analysis. There's no reason. Ethereum was at the same price at all of these lines. And so there's no reason why, like, this is not a price chart. It's just a result of what happens, and price could be different for different reasons, and this chart could be the result of that based upon that connection. So my fear is that someone will buy some altcoins today, we'll say, because they think that Bitcoin dominance is going to go all the way down to whatever, and then the altcoins that they buy don't. You know, they go up for like a week or something, and everybody thinks this is going to be, you know, 10x is coming, and then you end up getting wrecked, even though Bitcoin dominance only went back up to like this much or something like that. Because first of all, Ethereum is dominating Bitcoin dominance, right? It's like, it's the main mover. Ethereum, if we had Ethereum dominance chart, it'd be killing all the other altcoins. I guess you could do Ethereum versus total 3. You know, this is total 3, which is all of the cryptos besides Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stablecoins. That's total 3. So in fact, total 3 has been outperforming this cycle Ethereum until as of late. Okay, as a matter of fact, I can put it on here. If you go up here and you press plus on TradingView, and then we'll put on, this is total 3, so we'll put on ETH on here. I'll type it in. Then you can see ETH on the chart with it. So, you know, it was pretty much outperforming ETH this whole time, right? Kind of was in the line, and then ETH went down. And only now, just recently, is ETH kind of come back up. If we were to zoom in, you can see recently, clearly, it's been outperforming. So again, you know, what does that mean for Bitcoin dominance? I don't know. I don't know. Bitcoin dominance is not really telling me how to make money. I'm trying to make money, bro. I don't know what the hell the rest of y'all doing. People like playing games and pretending like they're right or something on Twitter. That don't really mean shit to me. How do I make money? That's what I care about. So I'm just trying to call that out to you guys. Beware. There's a lot of things to look at. If you're trading your ticker, look at your ticker. Your ticker has a price chart on your ticker, okay? You can represent it, you know, relative to Bitcoin and Ethereum or whatever, relative to the larger market. I do it all the time, every single day. I talk about what's relatively bullish and what's relatively bearish. But just because Bitcoin dominance did something doesn't mean I'm supposed to buy or sell my ticker right now. That doesn't mean that. And so, you know, I just want you guys to be careful because I don't want you to get wrecked. So that's the soapbox about Bitcoin dominance. I firmly believe, and will tell anybody right in their face, that it is not. It's not a leading indicator. It is a result of what is occurring. Okay. That's my high horse of Bitcoin Ethereum. Okay, here we are. And here's the other thing, you guys, and a lot of people in the private group, in the profit circle, talk about this, by the way. Don't trust weekend pumps or weekend dumps. And I hear that because it's a weird thing. Let me take this one off the screen here. So ultimately, let me come back to TradingView. What I'm looking at here is the NASDAQ. QQQ is the NASDAQ 100. These are the top 100 coins in the stocks in the NASDAQ. Okay. So the QQQ last week, you know, it's so funny. I'm going to show you this. Last week, I drew this line on the show live just for the hell of it. You know what I'm saying? What do you think of the gaps in BTC? Okay, Frenzy, I'm going to come back to that in a second. I think you're talking about the CME gaps. I swear to God, you guys, I just drew this line like in one take on the last show. If anybody's watching my last week's show a week ago, and the NASDAQ, look how it just followed it like almost perfectly. Okay. And I kind of just, you know, I just threw it off at the end here. So I don't know what's going to happen next or whatever. But I said that because, you know, this gap down basically had 1.5 days down of the NASDAQ, and then crypto just jumps. And that's what I was trying to explain to you guys. It's like it takes the elevator up and the escalator up and then the elevator down. Okay. So I just drew this line like the NASDAQ could possibly do this. That doesn't mean crypto is necessarily going to the moon. And the irony is, of course, it didn't. Only thing that went and made a new real high, really made a new high, was Ethereum. Bitcoin didn't make a new high. Most of the altcoins didn't come and make a new high. So the NASDAQ proving yet again to lead the market and be strong. But again, the thing that makes me nervous here is that it happened on the weekend. You know, ETH's pump happened. Let's see. So here's the week. So this line right here is a CME gap indicator that you can put on. It's free. Just so you know, it's called Bitcoin CME gaps, and it'll show up on every ticker. It really mostly just showing the timing of when the quote unquote the weekend started for Bitcoin, right? It starts at 3 p.m. my time on Friday, right? So it's this blue line, and then this will show you what happened. You went above or below it. I like having it on there. It shows a relative time frame for every ticker, and I can kind of look at it and see, okay, who's been relatively bullish or bearish recently compared to itself. Obviously, ETH has been going up, and so we can just go down a list, and we can see. Okay, first Bitcoin wasn't bullish, then it took off this morning, yesterday I should say, and then this is some of the shit coins I'm trading on. if you're going to trade the shitcoins with me, make sure you watch it in the private group or something like that. Some of these are real shitty, so you got to be careful. But yeah, some of these have been strong, and then they kind of, on the weekends, coins do their own, they dance to their own tune, right? Pump decided to dump. And, I thought it got way over its skis. That's why we shorted it, and it came back down again. Shout out Blueberry, he's shorting it. And someone else, Assess, I think, was shorting it in the group with me also in the private circle. By the way, if you guys are just now joining, you can join the private group for free. My private group is called the Profit Circle. Let me show you guys here the Discord. It's called the Profit Circle, and basically you can join the general chat for free. All you do is click the link in the video of this description, the description of this video, or any of my videos on YouTube, and you'll join. But the thing is, when you join just for the free, initially just hop in, all you're going to see is the general chat. The better stuff is usually like when I go into detail, I wake up in the morning and I look at the markets. Over here on the side, it's called the market analysis chat. This is like a video, and that's explaining what I'm seeing in the markets. You see some of the other folks actually posting here as well. See, we got Blueberry posting the heat map. So shout out Blueberry. He's a big time contributor. Guy's a great trader, by the way. Great calls. And so the Profit Circle is not just me giving game. It's other folks is there. And the best part is too, feel free to discuss your trades in the general chat, right? We see we got some winners in here. Talk about, say, hey, look, I entered a long on Bitcoin here of 25, whatever you want to say, and we'll take a look at it. We'll see what we think. Boy, I'm not so sure about that, or oh, man, that's a good call, or maybe it's a ticker that we weren't looking at. That's the other thing. Blueberry calls out tickers you might not see. He was calling out this one. Yeah, see right here? He basically was just calling out different plays he's seeing. And I'll do the same thing, and you kind of get a feel for other people's style. So if you want to get in all the other stuff for free on the side over here, it's kind of cut off on this screen. But all I ask is that you create a Phemex account with my referral link, which is the code on the screen, GMMNX5. I may earn a commission if you trade on Phemex, but really all it does is you create your Phemex referral link. You just create an account, and then over here, your user ID, your user ID will drop down here underneath your name or whatever, and then all you do is copy it and paste it into the bot in Discord, and then it'll verify you. So let me go back to show you this real quick. It'll verify you. So there's a verification tab. First is like the welcome tab, and this will show you how to I made a quick video explaining. I'm going to update this video, but basically you just click the link, and then it'll tell you here, and you click verify, and then you'll just put in user ID, and you'll be verified. Then it'll take you to WAP, and you'll clearly see it's 1 year for free, and you get everything over here for free on this side over here, everything else that we do in the Profit Circle. So anyways, I just want to give everybody a chance to join. Otherwise, it's $99 a month, but I'd rather have you deposit that into your trading account so that way you have a little bit of money to get started trading. I'm not trying to extract value from my audience. I'm trying to give value to my audience more so. If you do find value and you want to continue after 1 year, then it's $99 a month. So if you haven't made money in a year, then it wouldn't be worth it, I guess. But hopefully you will have after 1 year. Now, as promised, Frenzy and others, I'm going to talk about scalping and show you guys my scalping strategy. But first, as I do normally in the middle of the show, I'll have a weekly recap rap. I didn't write a rap this week. I was down there at the Influencer Awards. Again, congratulations to everybody who participated in the Influencer Awards. And but this time I'm going to show you guys a little bit of my performance from the Influencer Awards. And then we come back, we will do the scalping. So I hope everybody's ready. Here we go. I'm about to show you guys a little something what my performance looked like at the Influencer Awards.
No discussion. If you ain't talking about that, you ain't talking about that. No discussion. If you ain't talking about that, Rare Evo. No discussion. If you ain't talking about that, you ain't talking about that. You don't play this long talk. Check. Unless it's something that I'm out to get. Me and my whole crew always on that out shit. From the town, but a bunch from the east side. Real boss rap like the legends of E5. We got AJ, it's easy in this bitch. If you want to run a black tape, you serious bitch. I got 6 minutes with me. We ain't got to chase down, fly about people. 5 baddies on his face time. Look, they ain't even checking for the replays. These days, girls checking for the C phrase. But at least they got a doofus that are fucking ruthless without saying what the proof is. The truth is, you less than a nuisance in the shoe bitch. That I'm talking to you, bitch. You wouldn't do shit real right, bro. Put the beef and turn the strip like a chef and baby hot and no discussion. If you ain't talking about that, no discussion. If you ain't talking about that, you ain't talking about that. No discussion. If you ain't talking about that, you ain't talking about that. No discussion. If you ain't talking about that, you ain't talking about that. No discussion. I bet the trolls won't repost this, and I bet the trolls won't repost this. I bet the trolls won't repost
Yo, 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 and that's the come up with your boy Cassius Cuvée on stage at the Influencer Awards, 2025 Influencer Awards in Las Vegas during the time of Rare Evo. Anyways, man, I had to just show you guys that one. I had a great time out there. I had a blast. Shout out Adam Charles, my man, for putting me on stage there. And we had a great time, man. Everybody enjoyed the party. It was free food and everything like that. So, okay, we're going to get into it. There's one other thing I wanted to call out, actually. I forgot to mention about when I was saying about how you can't really do TA on something that's not a price chart. And that is, there's a couple other things too. Leveraged ETFs. So like Bitcoin dominance is not a price chart. So there's no like reason why there should be support or resistance. Not really. But there is things like leverage ETFs where there's like the TQQQ or the TBT. There's a lot of things like that in stocks that they decay over time. They're designed to be day trading things. And the example I actually use a lot is this one here. NQ1 exclamation point. Now this is the NASDAQ futures. Now I look at this to kind of tell me what's happened after hours, right? So this will come, it follows the CME time, right? So this will come live at 3 p.m. today. And this will tell me what's going to happen in the stock market when it opens. The stock market's not open until tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. my time. But basically, the after hours or pre-market will be kind of, you'll know by looking at this chart right here, NQ1 exclamation point. But here's the thing. If you notice, I always say you only look back like the night before, the day before, or 2 days tops, because you couldn't really do TA on this. It doesn't actually perform the same as the NASDAQ. And I can show you right here. This looks like the NASDAQ just blew way higher than the previous all-time high. And sure, the NASDAQ did go higher, but it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same as the exact ticker. So it's going to look the same kind of, but like if you were trying to do TA, especially over like weeks or something like that, it's not going to look the same. In fact, I'll show you. I'll put the QQQ over it. Let's see here. Oh shoot! I put it down here. Why did I put it down there? What did I do wrong? I don't want to show it down here. I want to show you overlay. I wonder if they're not allowing it for some reason. Oh, same price scale here, right here. I don't know. It's not working on that ticker for some reason. Basically, it doesn't act the exact same way. So like the leverage tickers will decay over time. So when I see TA guys, it's like they never seen a chart that they can't draw lines on. They're bullshitting you if they're showing you that it is a TA on a leverage ticker, because over time it decays. So in the long term, it will not look the same. It says, someone says, Max Ross, trying to sign up your Phemex with your referral code, but it wants me, country not a U.S. resident, so we can't use Phemex in the U.S.? Okay, so here's the thing about Phemex, is that it's an international exchange. And, it's one of those things that it has to be in your jurisdiction in order to access it. Now, when you use my link, you get some special benefits. But we're going to have a separate conversation. So just in general, I want to talk about security real quick. For your phones and your actual like computer and stuff, I always like to use a VPN to protect my security. When I was at the hotel in Las Vegas, I use a VPN before I join in any open networks. And it allows me to say that I'm in a different place when I'm doing that, so people can't track my IP address. So I like to use those for security purposes on my phone and devices. Now, back to Phemex. Yeah, so just make sure you're in a country that has the proper jurisdiction, and then that way you can utilize it. So anyways, all I wanted to say is there's that, and there was one other thing. Oh, market cap. Market cap, that's another one. You can't do TA on market cap. We were looking at Hedera. I'm in another private group, like a real small alpha group. And, someone was like, Hedera, HBAR, I'm a long-term HBAR holder. And he was like, HBAR, their market cap hit a new all-time high. And I was like, this pump here. And I pull up the price chart and say, HBAR hit a new all-time high. And he's like, well, market cap did. And that is going to show you that, like, we get paid off of price. Price is what I get paid off of. I don't give a damn what the market cap says. Now, it gives you a clue of, okay, how bad is inflation on that coin. But it definitely is not. If you're telling me all-time high was here at 57 cents in September 2021, but the all-time market cap high was here, oh, hell no, right? So, like, hindsight's 2020. Again, another way I'm trying to keep you guys from getting wrecked. This is showing you that if you try to do TA on a market cap, you would have thought you was rich by the time when all-time high hit right here. But really, that would have just been market cap, not the price. And so that's just another example of how you have to do TA on a price chart. in order for it to make any sense, because it's literally about like when people were buying and selling, like when the rubber meets the road in actual markets. All that other stuff is cool, but it ain't the real thing. You know, it was funny. I seen a video. Oh, not that one. I seen a video on Instagram where his wife just had a baby, and he's standing there next to it, and he's looking at the chart. They're showing her heartbeat and everything, you know, going up and down. And he starts drawing lines. He's like, see, here is your line of support and resistance, and here is the trend line. And it's like making a joke out of like us TA guys. We'll make a chart out of anything, right? Have you seen the meme too, where there's like the clouds in the sky, and the guy's like drawing lines on the cloud in the sky? Like, someone will show you a chart about anything, but it doesn't mean it means anything. Okay, so TA is not applicable to everything. It's just simply not. And, you know, again, I'm not trying to burst anybody's bubble over here, but like if it's not a price chart, the TA doesn't mean the same thing. It's just a fact. So that's all. I just want to say that about, there's other types of charts too, not just Bitcoin dominance, where TA is not going to make direct sense like it would on a price chart. Now, let's talk about scalping here. Because I said when I was flying, I was like, man, I'm about to put on a scalping clinic when I get back. And I'm not going to do the whole clinic today. But let me pull out, I'm going to show you, there's a couple things I do want to show you here, specifically on Breakout Prop, okay? So Breakout Prop is where I think I probably really like developed my scalping strategy. And I can use these coins. I'm only in one coin right now, kind of a little like a home run long term. Actually almost hit it. I'll show you guys. It's a Flocky. Damn it, it's not centered on the screen correctly. I won't need it to show you the scalping strategy. But anyways, Flocky, I was this close to taking profit over here. I missed it by this much. I'm still in it. My initial position is here. I'm not really tripping too much on it. I'm doing quite well right now. Oh, you can't see the price either. I'm at 122,000. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. I've got it. Breakout. When you resize, I'm in Meld Studio, and when you like resize anything, it like messes up the. Here we go. It like messes up the framing. So here we go. All right. So check it out. Now we got. Okay, so now, Breakout Prop. So here's the thing, right? So this is what I do. I'm going to show you what I do on Breakout Prop, okay? When I'm actually doing it, it's going to look more like this, where I would like to have a trading view below it and then Breakout Prop above it. Okay, so what I will do is, and we can even do a real trade right now. It's no big deal, okay? So stay tuned in here. Give me 1 second. On the right-hand side, I like to have Bitcoin, or whatever ticker I think is tracking, okay? I'm going to say Bitcoin today. It might be Ethereum is what your coin is tracking. But we're just going to say Bitcoin. Then over here, I'll put, you know, one of my favorite long-term bags, Algorand. Shout out to Mark. I just met the CMO from Algorand yesterday at Rare Evo. Okay, so here's Algorand, right? So I like to have them on, let me put them on the 1 minute chart. 1 minute chart. Because scalping, right, we're real short term. So I'm putting them on the 1 minute charts, okay? And I want to kind of line them, I want to make them look the same to kind of just get a feel for how they've been moving the same, right? So we're looking down here for, this is not exactly in line. Let me make sure I get them. You want to get them lined up, okay? Come on. I want to make them show, this is the same bumps showing on each one, right? So obviously, that's bigger. So, okay, so here's kind of the same, right? You see 20, right, here's 4. It says 4 at the bottom. God damn, you guys can't see that either. 4, 4. Basically, these are the same time frames is what I'm trying to get. These are 1 minute charts. And you can see that Bitcoin's been, you know, a little more volatile. It came up right here. Anyways, the point is I'm going to trade Algorand. This is what I need to show you guys, okay? So let's say I'm going to go short here, Algorand, right? This is the first thing I'm going to do. I want to determine how much I'm going to get screwed on fees and slippage and everything, you know, when I jump in and out of trades. When you are scalping, you're going to be doing market orders, okay, guys? Market orders right here. Now, I'm not saying you don't put in a stop loss anywhere. It's good to have one just in case like your fucking internet goes out or some crazy shit happens or the screen stops working or something like that. I've literally been in the middle of trades where, for example, the platform might be doing an update and I didn't see the update notification. I'm like, holy shit, you know? So, you know, as soon as I enter, I'm going to put on a stop loss. The problem is it's up to you. You can have a stop loss triggered when you enter, not based on price. So that's helpful. I don't. I just put on market, and then once I'm in it, I'm going to jump in and put my stop loss right after it, okay? Oh, your video's lagging. Okay, I don't think you missed anything yet, Blockchain Cowboy. I was just trying to set up Breakout Prop here. So, 50,000 hour, we're going to lower that down. We're not going to do 50,000. We'll call it 5,000 Algorand, 66, but 500 Algorand. We'll make it a little bit more money. 5,000 Algorand, okay? Oh, wait, don't hit save. Okay. And the good thing is, too, here in Breakout Prop, once I get out of here, when I come back, it's going to still stay 5,000. Okay. So whatever you were last time is cool. So we're going to pick an amount that is an amount that we feel comfortable. I'm kind of starting small. I got a $100,000 account, and I'm only using $668. Okay. I mean, I actually got 122,000 in there right now. Okay. So we're not going to utilize much. Just for an example, I'm 5,000 Algorand. Okay. Oh, we got a couple comments here. So Crypto Plumber, did you run into other notable traders at Rare Evo like James from Invest Answers or others? I ran into plenty of other traders. I don't know James, but I definitely ran into other traders. That's for sure. I mean, I hosted the awards, so there's definitely the best TA guys on the stage and stuff like that. But yeah, there's a lot of other traders there, of course. Okay, so check it out here. Real quick, because I need to show you, this is very important. This has to do with fees and slippage and how you're going to get scammed. But basically, it's the cost of doing business is what I call it, to be honest with you. You want to trade, you're going to pay fees and shit. You're going to have a little bit of slippage. It's just what it is, okay? So on here, and you could do the stop loss. Let me come back to the stop loss real quick. Let's just say we want to go short, right? I go short, sell. Okay, boom. So now it's up here, Algorand, 5,000. I've sold it. You see my line here, right? On order or trade history, okay? Expand this a little bit. Will they show it to us? Over here? Okay, yes. So it shows me my commission. They charged me 47 cents, right? So for 5,000 Algorand is 47 cents. So about 600, this was worth about 668 bucks. I got charged 47 cents as the commission, okay? Now, what I want to show is this here. What I like about Breakout Prop is these are the ticks or the pips. They're showing you the spread right here. So you can see right here, the ask is 26 cents and 26.73 cents, and this is 26.72. It's only one fraction of a penny or whatever. That's fine. That's cool. It's not that big. But depending on how much money you got, that adds up, right? So if I was going to close this order just right now, right? Like technically I'm down 50 cents. Well, I'm down 0 right now. That's perfect. We'll do it. Down 0, close it. Okay. It charged me 47 cents and I was net negative $1.44. Okay. So check this out. You're going to need to know this because as we scale up, this $1.44 is going to scale up, right? So it's almost like saying, if this was 50,000, they might've got me for $14.40. Okay. So when you start doing size, you're going to be like, okay, well, listen, if I'm gonna scalp Algorand using $6,600 instead of $660, I need to know that I better be making at least $14. You get what I'm saying? Or else I'm not making any money just on transaction fees going in and out of it. Okay, so that's what you got to need to know that, and we'll do one. Why not? I got enough money here; it doesn't matter, right? So I entered that trade, and then I close it. Look, so here's the spread. Okay, here's the thing. Perfect, right here. $10. It's like saying it cost me $10 into the trade. This is my P&L, right? That was the spread. That was one pip was about $10 was the difference, all right? So I know that I'm going to get charged at least $10 if I market order out. At least $20 because it's going to be 10 getting in, 10 getting out plus the fee. So let's just see real quick. Minus 10. Let's just see if I just get out real quick. $24, you see? So, and I kind of missed one. I wasn't exactly at break even. So I was one pip different, $5 probably. So basically, this shows me that just getting in and out of this trade real quick cost me $24. And that's honestly the cost of doing business. I didn't play it perfectly. It'd probably be $19.36 or something like that. But you can see the commission was $4.68 going and coming. And if you're winning big trades, this little shit ain't going to mean stuff to you. But people, sometimes they get in there and they're like, oh, I'm getting gypped or whatever's going on here. I might be losing some money on the spread or the slippage or whatever the case may be. And you know what? Maybe you are a little bit. But I don't know what to tell you. You got to win trades. There's kind of no way of avoiding fees and slippage on stuff, unless you try to do limit orders. But when you're scalping, you can't really do limit orders because your order might not hit. You got to get in and get out quickly. So, you're going to be doing market orders on your scalp. So this is market right here. This would be limits and stop and all that stuff. But you're going to be doing limit orders. Now, here's the other thing I want to show you. If you do want to put in a stop loss at the exact moment that you enter the trade, like say before you even enter the trade, you want to determine your stop loss. You can do that here. Now, the general way is, okay, I want to put a stop loss at, whatever, exactly 26 cents or whatever the case may be. But the thing is, when you're scalping, it's going so fast, you don't have time for that because it's like 26 cents 1 second might be twice as big a percentage as it was the next second. So what you can do, if you want, is you can set the stop loss by pips by projected loss, that would be like a percentage, or no, excuse me, dollar amount. That'd be a dollar amount, or percentage of balance. Okay, and it shows you down here as I change all those what those mean. 5 pips would be 0.02 cents, about 0.02 percentage of my entire balance. I guess that's of the 122,000 I have in there. And then pips is just like how many units. Like each one of these would be a pip, right? And you can kind of see it on an Algorand chart. The reason why I picked Algorand is because you can see the pips, right? Like on Bitcoin, you're not really going to see them because it's so much more of a liquid asset. You can't really see the pips that much, even on the 1 minute chart. But on Algorand, it's very clear that 1 pip is one of these little things, right? Every one of these is 1 pip. And that was $10 is what that was. Okay. So now look, so if I enter the short and I said, I want to do a stop loss, I could say it's 10 pips and I press send. This is, so right when it entered, because I don't know the exact moment it entered, right? Like this might move right when I click the button, right? It might move a pip or two, or if it was more liquid asset, it might move a lot more. We know that this is 10 pips. And I can if I double click on here, it'll show me that 10 pips projected loss would be $50. So yeah, so each pip is worth $5 is what that means. Okay. It's worth $5 is what that means. So each pip, every tick on the price chart is $5 for my position size, for this particular position size, which is 50,000 Algorand. Okay. So, you're kind of determining that when you enter the trade. Now, again, I don't necessarily do it this way. You could, and maybe, you probably want this set a little bit higher than, just in case, like, something like this could happen real fast. I mean, this is a 1 minute chart. And by the way, this is not when you're scalping, you're an active trader. You don't set it and forget it. You don't walk away. You gotta have your finger on the trigger. Now, for my strategy, I'm using Market Cipher B. That would be over here on TradingView, which is why I put it underneath like this. Okay. But first, I got to go over the mechanics of the market. Like once you guys start learning exactly how the market works and why, you will become a better trader because you're then more precise and you can like make money. And don't do like me and travel and try to trade on your phone. CryptoFace was saying the same thing. He's like, I hate trading on my phone. I push the button once, go, and then you think it doesn't go through, and then you press it again, and before you know it, it's like blah, 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 and all of a sudden I entered hell orders. I'm like, I know. Like there's like delays and shit. Like it's better to trade on the computer, especially if you're doing any type of precision, okay? So anyways, here we are on the computer, and I'm looking at Breakout Prop, and I'm seeing like each pip that's going my way. That's why I'm up $5, right? It cost me $5 or $10 just to even get into the trade because of slippage in the spread or in fees or whatever the case may be, right? It cost me about $10 to get in. I got a couple pips in my direction, or 1 pip, I guess, and that's why I'm up $5, right? Yeah, because here's my line here, 1 pip, $5. And you can kind of see, that. And then so here's my stop loss here. I entered that previously. Now, normally I don't even do the pip thing, but it's not a bad idea. It was a good one. It was like, okay, if something were to happen, at least I have this here. My internet goes out. But this is not what's determining when I'm going to get out of the trade. What's going to determine that is Market Cipher B. So what I'm doing is I'm looking over here on this is TradingView. I keep it down here. Let me just make it big for 1 second. Let me come over to it. So my strategy involves around the 1 hour chart and then the 10-minute chart. Okay. And really what I'm looking at is these momentum waves down here. When you're scalping, you don't have time to pull up 99 indicators and look at every little thing. It's just going to muddle the screen, and people pulling up their volume stuff or all the other stuff that is not like, you don't have time to sit there and analyze all of this, when you're trying to do it in every EMA and all that other shit. Not when you're trying to scalp. Okay. It's just, listen, you'll develop your own strategy. For me, I want to keep it simple. And so all I'm using is Market Cipher B. Boom. Very, very simple. So here's what we're doing. First things first, and I did not enter this trade on. Look, I'm not even on Algorand. Let me get on Algorand first. That'd be a good start. I'm just doing this as an example, okay, you guys? Obviously, this is not like a trade I'm seriously about trying to win. What I would like to do, I wouldn't even be starting here. I would like to see, if I was shorting, I'd want to see a red dot on the 1 hour first, because that's red means it's going down. And then I would wait for the 10-minute to start rolling over. So here's the 10-minute chart. So, okay, I know we don't have the 1 hour red dot, but let's just say we did. I've got a 1 hour on the 10-minute here, right? This is about where I entered, we'll call it. And basically, I'm going to ride this puppy down until I get a green dot, until this starts to come up on the 10-minute. So how do you establish that? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in. right? So up here, I've got the 5 minute, I got the 3 minute, and I got the 1 minute, right? The 1 minute always comes before the 3 minute on this chart. It always comes before the 5 minute. Always comes before, like the smaller time frames always pop up before the larger time frames. Okay, so I know that. I know that we're not about to have a 10-minute red dot. 10-minute green dot until we've got a 5 minute. You're not going to have a 10-minute green dot to your 5 minute. So I don't really need to look at the 10 minute for now. I'm zooming in. I'm looking at the 3 minute here. And I'm like, okay, I need to see a green dot here. I'm shorting. So I need to see a green dot here before I get out of this trade. All right. So let me go back over here. Breakout Prop. So how's it looking? Looking good so far. I'm up $15, right? Going my way for now. Got a stop loss here as a sanity check just in case. We're kind of breaking this little level of support. Let's see if we get another leg down. You know, is this the beginning of the trend reversal? Perhaps. Maybe I got lucky on this trade, right? As far as the timing. I didn't do like hella TA to enter it. I really wanted to show you guys, though, the fee situation here. Like, that was the important part, because people are going to complain that they're getting ripped off by fees. Well, you got to know, right? I got to make at least $15 to break even. Or in this case, I think it was like 20. It said 24, but I didn't catch the exact. I missed a pip or two. I think I lost the trade. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't all fees and slippage. So anyways, I need about $15 to make sure that this trade actually makes sense. And you need to know that because, like, remember I said this was like the stop loss was minus $50 at 10 pips or whatever. I moved it up a couple, minus $70. You know what I'm saying? I need to kind of know that to say, okay, when is it not worth it, like, to cut your losses? Well, in reality, you know, the dollars is not what I'm looking at. I am, in fact, looking at Market Cipher B to tell me when to get out of this trade. So let's see. Do we even have a 1 minute green dot yet? No. So I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm here just waiting for this 1 minute green dot to come. And then once the 1 minute green dot comes, I don't do nothing. I wait for the 3 minute green dot to come. I mean, that's it. I'm waiting for the 3 minute dot to come. And then when that comes, I'm watching to make sure nothing crazy is going on. But I'm switching to the 5 minute. Once the 5 minute green dot comes, you're going to see price action is going to be doing some of it. It's going to have to come up a little bit for the 5 minute to even show up. At least sideways for a while, probably up before you get a 5 minute green dot. Okay. It don't just come for no reason. And so the more trading you do, the more you can actually start to predict in real time when the dot is about to appear. Okay. And that brings me to the 10 minute. All right. Which is how I'm determining when to close this trade. So now I'm like, okay, if I'm sitting here looking at I'm looking at a 5 minute green dot because price is starting to do one of these, you know. And I don't know if it's just doing a little bounce. It's going to grow over, and I start, this would come down. You're going to start seeing a little something. Well, it wouldn't even be that exaggerated. You see how it'd be tiny. I can't even really draw it. It'd be like that maybe. And you see a red dot right here on the 5 minute wave. Excuse me, a green dot, because now we're shorting. So I got to start making some decisions, right? If this price starts coming up a little bit, I'm like, okay, a 10 minute dot might come, and I don't want to give back on my profit. Maybe you get out, maybe you ride it. You start getting to be, the crypto fish intuition a little bit more. But what I will tell you is this: when you do see the 10 minute green dot come, you get out of the trade. This is my strategy, not financial advice. This is how I do it. Okay. You get out the trade. Don't try to fight a 10 minute dot. If it's short, you don't try to fight the green dot. If you're long, you don't try to fight the red dot. And the reason why I landed on that after watching the charts for 16 hours a day for like 8 months is because nothing too crazy will probably happen in less than a 10-minute wave, okay? And I'm going to show you an example of that like on Ethereum or one of these tickers that just move like crazy. But crypto does move fast. So anything after 10 minutes, you might get the boom up in your face, and then that's where you get back all your money. And that is why I landed on 10 minute it being the waves that I trade off of. Anything less, you're not going to get punched in the face too hard if you're wrong. You're going to get out at probably break even minus your trading fees. Nothing catastrophic. So what you're ultimately doing is cutting all your losses or anything that goes against you. And it's also forcing you to take profit, because what if I get lucky and this comes all the way down here and then you get the 10 minute down here? Boom, I made profit from here to here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool. You're not going to catch the perfect bottom, but you got out. Maybe like this is an example of here. Maybe you didn't get out on the bottom here, but then when this showed up, you got out here. So you made money from here to here, maybe, So you could have been wrong shorting this, but you wouldn't have gotten crushed and given back all your money when it jumped all the way back up. Now, here's an example over here that if we had been trading with the trend, what happens is you eventually get lucky. You eventually catch one of these big waterfalls in your favor. That's what eventually happens. And then this move from here to here could be a lot of money in Breakout Prop or in Phemex, however much money you're trading. So basically, if you keep trading with the trend and then getting out as soon as the trend goes against you, you're cutting your losses, or you're taking your profits, or you're stopping yourself from getting wrecked. And then eventually the trend continues in your favor and you catch the big move. I've seen it a million times. And you might be trading for an hour or two and you're like, damn, I'm not making any money. I'm down. I'm getting stop loss to death, or I'm getting red dotted to death or whatever. I'm like, man, I lost $20 and I lost $50 and I lost $20 and I lost $30. Before you know it, you're down $100. You're even down $200. But then what happens is one of thes big waves comes in your favor and you go like this and then boom. And now you made it all back in one and then some. And so that's how it works, especially when you have a bigger bankroll, which is why I say I like to use Breakout Prop, because with Breakout Prop, we know what your risk is on Breakout Prop. So anybody's just joining, Breakout Prop is a prop firm where they will front you the money to trade. So for $999, they will give you a bankroll of $100,000 to trade with. Okay. Now you can get a discount on the $999 if you use my code at the top here, GGRF7W. That is my invite referral link. So not invite, I guess it's a discount code. So anyways, that's the only way to save money. Breakout Prop doesn't really run sales or promotions, just like on the price. They always keep it the same. There's not like holiday promotions, nothing like that. So the price is the price. If you use my discount affiliate code, you get to save a little bit of money. So basically on Breakout Prop is you're purchasing an evaluation. So for that $999 for $100,000, you don't have to buy the $100,000. There's cheaper ones. I recommend buying the $100,000 because then you can just use a smaller amount of money like I'm doing on this example. But basically the way it works is once you purchase the evaluation, that's the only money that you're purchasing. That's the only money you've risked, and it's gone. You already spent it. You purchased the evaluation. So you have predetermined your downside risk. For some traders, that is a good thing because maybe if they were on Phemex or a leverage trading platform or something, they might keep trying to buy the dip. Before you know it, you're down 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, 20,000. And that would be worse than just getting breached in Breakout Prop. So briefly, the rules of Breakout Prop is to pass the evaluation, you have to make 10,000 before you lose 4,000 in a day, or you have to or lose 6,000 overall. The rules are here. If you go on their website, these are the tickers. They got a lot of tickers on Breakout Prop that you can trade. It's all crypto. But as you go down, let's see, somewhere on here, they're going to show you where the so you pick your evaluation over here. See, it's a $100,000 valuation. That's $999. So you can't lose more than 4% in a day, or max 6,000, which would be 6% negative 6,000. So 4% a day or minus 6,000. Technically, you could be up, and then you wouldn't be closer to minus 6,000. 4% a day, that can be avoided by just waiting. Okay, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. I have a video on my YouTube channel that shows you how to avoid getting breached in one day. Just kind of a basic math trick. Everything is bankroll management. At the beginning, too, when you first purchase it, there's a gain split. So the way Breakout Prop, one of the ways to make money is that once you get funded, so once you get that 10%, they're going to fund your account, and now you've got a real $100,000 to trade with. What's going to happen is you can, say you win a trade, you can withdraw that money every single day on demand, but they take 20%. Now, if you click this at the beginning, meaning you pay 10% more at the beginning, they only take 10% on the back end. So anytime I'm starting a new evaluation, I'm going to click that because I rather pay 10% up front, which is, $100, so I can keep thousands on the back end. So that's what I always would do is for the gain split. I want to make it so I get to keep 90% of my winnings, not 80%. So that's basically how that works. Okay. So let's see. He says, how do you take swings on Breakout? I thought we was talking about scalping. Frenzy, I thought you want to know scalping. So what do you mean, how do I take swings? It's the same idea as any technical analysis. You're going to do your TA and you're going to determine when you want to enter and exit. But it's the same deal as far as the mechanics of how Breakout Prop works. You're going to open it up. So nothing happens when you first. I just click short, right? So click buy, short, doesn't matter. Oh, and by the way, Breakout Prop is in hedge mode. And what hedge mode means is that you can open two trades in opposite directions at the same time. Whereas like on Phemex and a lot of exchanges, it will average your position. Breakout Prop won't do that. It won't average it. If I open this right now, it'll be a totally separate trade. And I'll show you real quick. It's super small, right? So if I enter another trade here. So what's going on here? Where's the trade? Let me refresh the screen real quick. If I enter another trade here, you're going to see, yeah, up here. So it shows up here. Whoa. Look at all this. See in the waterfall. See what trading with the trend does? See, we had a red dot. Look, this is a perfect example. We had a red dot on Algorand here, and I didn't fight the red dot. Oh, my bad. Let me go back to trading view. We had a red dot here. This is why I chose to go short instead of long, even for this example, okay? We had a red dot here. You trade with the trend. Eventually, you catch a big waterfall in your favor. You see what I'm saying? Whereas if I had been trying to go long here and I fought this red dot, I keep going back. This is why I like having it on both screens. If I had tried to go long here and I had fought this red dot down here in market cipher B, I would have got punched in the face by this waterfall that came all the way down. You see the waterfall came. I would have got punched in the face by that. So that's why I'm saying it's a 10-minute dot that matters. But did it drop immediately at the beginning of the 10-minute drop? No, we had a little bit of time. So that's why I'm saying it. But sometimes it might drop right in the 10-minute drop. But on the 5-minute, you're safe. Like, you're not going to get banged hecka hard. If you had gotten out anywhere between the 5-minute and the 10-minute, you would have been aight. But there's too many false signals here on the 5-minute. That's why I don't say the 5-minute is the proper one. You see down here, there's just too many dots. You'd be in and out just too often, and you would get feed to death a little bit. So that is why I say the 10-minute, because in the 10-minute, there wasn't hell of those. You see, there was just one. There's not too many. Sometimes you can get a couple, but there's not that many. So that's how I landed on the 10-minute. But then, boom, we caught that waterfall in our favor, right? In our favor. So now we're on a 1-minute. We're trying to see, okay, see again, and that's why the 1 minute, so we got a green dot, but deep green dot on 1 minute. What about the 3-minute? We still don't have a green dot on the 3-minute, so I'm going to be waiting. I'm staying in this trade. You know? What if this is the beginning of the waterfall, right? Let me come back to breakout prop. And so again, I like to have it like this. Maybe if you have, right now I have 2 screens left to right, but I like scalping with the actual market cipher B underneath it down here, so I can see what I'm doing while this is on the screen. So remember, this is the 1-minute chart on breakout prop, and then over here on trading view, I've got the 10-minute or less. Basically, this is the 10-minute, but I'm zoomed in because I know what comes now. We already have a green dot on the 1-minute. I don't need to watch that chart anymore. I need to switch over to the 3-minute. And I'm waiting to see when the 3-minute comes. Once that comes, okay, now I'm switching to the 5-minute. I'm waiting to see when the 5-minute comes. And when the 5-minute comes, now I got to start getting ready, right? Either I want to, take profit somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes, or I'm waiting to see. If a 10-minute comes, I'm not waiting. Why would I fight this dot? The 10-minute dot, something bad might happen. It might just blow up in your face. So don't try to fight a 10-minute. I used to have a Post-it note pinned to my monitor, okay? I don't want to fight. Don't fight a 10-minute dot. Just take the green, because I'm going to be up. A win's a win, right? So let me come back to breakout prop over here. So I'm going to be up, right? I would be winning. So why do I want to mess that up? So here's hedge mode. I was going to show you this. So yeah, I entered that other play. I mean, that wasn't, I was just showing you that it's hedge mode. It separates it out in two different things. So even if I went long, I could show you the same thing. I could go long right here. And it shows you here. So it's not averaging these at all. You know, here's my long, here's my short, and here's my other one. It's not averaging these, okay? These are just separate trades. So even to close them, you could go up here and close them all at once. You click on it here, this X, and it'll say, do you want to close all 3 positions? And then this would be my gain right here. Or you can just close them one at a time. So let's say, okay, I'll close this one. This was the 5 cents, whatever. I'll close this one, you know, just separately, boom. And then they show up down here on the trade history, and I can see, okay, I lost 5 cents and 10 cents. Those are such small positions that it was like 5 cents a pip, and I lost a total with my 5-cent commission. This is what you lost in total, okay? But obviously, those are just to give you a quick example of what hedge mode looks like and what that means. Oh, and by the way, the reason they showed multiple underneath is because I had aggregate on. I should have showed you that before, but whatever. You just click this box and you'll see all your positions. But we're looking good, right? The short kind of made sense on the 10-minute. I didn't try to fight this dot. I went short instead of long because I had that red dot when I first entered this trade, just to give you guys an example. So that's all I'd be waiting for. Like, I wouldn't come out of this trade until at least a 5-minute. Let's see. Did they give us a 5-minute green dot? Not yet. And you get nervous sometimes, like, oh, price is coming against you. Now listen, okay? Know the ticker you're trading, not just for position sizing. Yes, you want to know position sizing, right? Like, how do I know? Like, is this enough money right? It was 50,000 Algorand. 50,000 Algorand was $6,600, right? Again, I got $122,000 I can use up here. I'm only using $6,600. Ain't no reason. Nobody says you got to put the whole $100,000 on. That's how you end up getting breached if something goes against you too quick. So whatever, this could have been bigger than 6,600, but whatever. I know the position. I know the ticker, so I know roughly my position size. You know, I want to do 6,600, but maybe I'll do higher the next time I do it. If I was really trying to make money, I'm just trying to give you guys an example. But basically, off of $6,600, I'm already up $75. So it gives you just a feel for it, right? If I did double that, I would be up 140, right? So basically, know your ticker, know your price action, start small. And that's where you start to get a feel for it. Now, one more thing I have to call out. Breakout Prop has built-in leverage on every ticker. It's 2x on every altcoin besides Ethereum. And on Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's 5x leverage. So this could be big. For those big risk takers out there, if you got a $100,000 account on Breakout Prop, that's actually a position size that's worth $500,000. Because it's 5x the leverage. So for you could get $500,000 worth of buying power or trading power on Bitcoin and Ethereum just for $999, and then minus whatever you save here on the, if you use my code here, my discount code on the screen, GGRF7W. So, you know, if you got real high conviction, you're like, we've seen the bottom. Bitcoin hit 75K, man, we about to bounce. You know what I mean? Okay, you might want to go in big. Now, there's no rush to pass the evaluation either. You can take as much time as you want. They're not rushing you. Some prop firms are like make you make 5 trades a month or some weird stuff like that. You don't have to feel any pressure. So start small. You know what I mean? I'm at only $6,600 in this Algorand. You know, I can handle that. I made $80 off of that. You know, maybe I go bigger on the next time. And when I'm scalping, I'm only doing 1 ticker at a time. It's not wise to do more than 1. I've tried it so many times. 2 max. I say only 1 because I'm going to have Bitcoin over here to kind of see its price action compared to it. And I only have 2 windows open. I've got other windows in here. This will slow down your Breakout Prop terminal so you can close those other windows, those other charts. To make a new one, you would just click the plus sign here, click chart, and then put it in. All right. So that will slow it down. You have to refresh up here every once in a while. So that's all right. Look, we're up $95. Woohoo! Off only $6,600, right? And again, I'm waiting. Look, that 5-minute chart, that 5-minute dot ain't never came. There's a 3-minute. Let's see. Oh, my bad. I'm back over here. That's what I'm saying. I like having both open like this and I can see. So, okay, we did get a 3-minute dot, but that might not mean shit. It's just a 3-minute dot, you know? That's not very powerful. 5 minutes is a little more powerful, and then 10 minutes twice as powerful as 5 minutes. So, yeah, we're waiting it. And that's all I need. I don't need a million indicators. I'm not even looking at all the other stuff on MarketCypher B. I'm just looking at the blue momentum waves, red dot, green dot, and then price action over here on Breakout Prop itself. That's what I'm looking at, okay? And then, you know, there's certain things you kind of know. I'm looking, for example, I'm literally watching the 1-minute candles. I'm looking at a double bottom here for now, right? If I really was spooked and I was like, ooh, I think we might find a real bottom, I'm looking at Bitcoin to get a clue here. But Bitcoin is not showing me any strength. Bitcoin is showing me weakness. So why should I be afraid until Bitcoin? Because sometimes Bitcoin will show you the clue first. If Bitcoin will lead it, start going up to the upside, okay, boom, I might want to get out of here before this pumps. But here's the other thing too. So you got to pick the right ticker. Again, I just kind of jumped in this to show you an example, but like you want to pick, if I want to go bearish, I want to have a relatively bearish ticker, meaning in recent times, like right now today, is it moving faster to the downside when Bitcoin's going down, and like when Bitcoin has a little pump, it does a lesser pump on the way up? That's a bearish ticker. I like scalping that ticker because now all I got to do is watch Bitcoin's price action. Bitcoin all of a sudden starts pumping. I might give back a couple of pips, but I can get out before the big move comes because it's lagged from Bitcoin. So that's a little trick. That's a little cheat code. That's why I have them split like this. And or the opposite's true. This is a relatively bearish ticker. So Bitcoin might be moving sideways to down, a couple legs down. Bitcoin has a big leg down like this. I'm like, oh, well, this is going to fall. This is a bearish ticker, man. It's going to catch up to the downside. So that's why I like to have 2, and I also track all my tickers. If you guys seen, my chart over here on TradingView, I got a lot of tickers I'm watching every single day. I got like 200 tickers on this list. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of move around between what's more bullish and bearish. Oh, and here's the other thing too. I call a lot of these out already. They're already called out in the private group. So if you're in the profit circle, this is one of the main things. I forgot to say this earlier. So again, you can join the profit circle for free for 1 year if you use my Phemex referral code just to create an account. You deposit some money in there that you would have spent on this group instead, so you have some money to trade. And then inside Discord, there is a bot that will verify your user ID number. Then it'll take you to WAP, and all you do is create an account. It'll take you No, it takes you 1 minute. But basically, you'll see on there, it says 1 year for free, 365 days for free, you pay nothing right now. And then you get access to the other channels. So over here, I've got bearish tickers versus bullish tickers. And I update this because, first of all, most tickers are bearish compared to Bitcoin. But it's not just bearish compared to Bitcoin. It's bearish compared to itself. So I even have an example in here. I don't always do that. Sometimes I put the tickers, right? I have a list here. I got a bunch of other stuff. But like, this is an example of how I determine it. I have voice recording here, like audio recording, explaining what I'm looking at, right? But basically, you can see that this ticker has been bearish relative to Bitcoin was going up, but this ticker was going down. You see? So that was like relatively bearish. So if I'm gonna trade something, if I'm gonna short something, short this coin. Don't short Bitcoin. Short a coin that as soon as Bitcoin drops a little bit, this ticker's gonna tank. You get what I'm saying? And so I have that list for all the verified wave makers over here. And then we got the bullish tickers, right? Uniswap's been bullish, SPX, all these have been bullish. Tron, always bullish, right? And I don't even have to update this all the time because most of this stuff stays the same, you know? But I'll call it out if we're seeing something changing, right? Oh, future trades. So it looks like so Blueberry put something in there. Yesterday a trade he was taking. So you get all this stuff if you become a verified wave maker. So again, it's free. It's 1 year for free. All you got to do is create a Phemex referral account, or you can pay me the $99 a month. That's up to you. That's pretty much it I got for today. I think, I just want to always stress bankroll management, you guys. That's like something that I'll never stop stressing because I don't give a damn what trading strategy you use. If you don't have good bankroll management, you fuck around and get wrecked. And we don't want that to happen. My passion is to make sure you look, I'm up $115 in this trade. I'll take it. I could use, okay, if you wanted to, you can move the stop loss here just as a sanity check. So no matter what, I won't lose the trade. But at the end of the day, I'm not using the normal TA on the chart to do this. I'm literally just using Market Cipher B to tell me when to get out of this trade. This is going down until it goes up. Listen, you guys, I say this on Twitter all the time. Momentum is greater than, I put the little greater than symbol. Momentum is greater than support and resistance. I'm going to stand by that. Things will blow right through support and resistance if the momentum is telling it to, okay? Right? Ethereum, I was going to show this too. Ethereum, when it finally broke above 4,000, check this out. It gives us the perfect little example of when support turned into resistance. I'm going to show you on this chart here. Let me pull out 1 hour. Let me pull this up here. Because I circled it just to show you guys. I called it out in my group or whatever. Oh, wait, that's the wrong chart. Here, see these circles? Okay, so check it out. Ethereum had perfectly, first it went straight up. It had a little wick right here, bounced off it, came back, broke through, bounced off it again. So this was resistance, boom. Gave it a second shot, it busted through. It had a retracement, which is the pullback, boom, it bounced right off of it. Now resistance turned into support. And this is kind of just basic fundamentals trading stuff, resistance and support. Bounced off this, boom, shot straight up. And trust me, a lot of people saw this at 4,000 and they bought right here on that retracement and boom, that's how we got that. But again, also too, like the bigger move came a little bit later. It's not right away. So you got some time. You can get in. A person like me who's watching the charts all damn day so closely, sometimes if anything, I'm too early. But again, that's why I'm looking at the 10-minute chart to tell me, like, you have time. Like, you're not going to get a crazy move at the beginning of a 10-minute wave, right? You got to get a full dot, and then after that, it might happen. Let me go back to Algorand and see how this trade is going here. It's great to win a trade when you're on the live stream, right? Okay, where are we? Still pointing down, right? So I'm not afraid of this right now. I'm feeling great. Oh, slowing down a little bit, so I had to zoom in. So let's see, are we getting another green dot on a 3-minute? No, shit, the 3-minute green dot even disappeared. So again, I'm not worried. It's trying to do, it's trying to give some back. Nothing goes straight down forever or any direction forever. But again, I'm not worried about taking profit until I see at least a 5-minute green dot right here. Got to have that. Until then, I'm good. I like to watch it. I'm not going to, if I got to go get some water, use the bathroom, you can go real quick. But I'm going to come back. I'm going to stand here and watch this. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to watch this trade. Anybody out there in the chat still with me, right? We went over this. This is a scalping strategy. We're kind of over time for today. We're over time for today, but this is the scalping strategy right here. And it pays, but it prints. And the main reason it prints is not even the upside. It's to protect yourself from the downside. So that's all I really got, man. This is the come up with Cassius Cuvée. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I got for you guys today. I appreciate everybody rocking with me. All set. See you, man. And Frenzy, we're going to have to come back to more on how to do swings. But that was Breakout Prop. And looks like, might be time to start getting out here. So looks like we got 5-minute dot. Here, let me come back. 5-minute dot here. 5-minute green dot has not occurred yet. So I'll be watching that. You know, maybe this might be just a little false little pump here. We'll see. Let me come back to Breakout Prop. Maybe not. This might be the real thing. So I could take profit here, you know what I'm saying? Guarantee a win. Oh, but check this out. Bitcoin had a little pullback, right? So at this, oh, shout out to whoever just joined the group. I got a notification. We got someone in the group. So shout out to whoever that was. Let's see if I can see it over here. Invite tracker. Who is that? And by the way, I don't ever DM on here. That's why it says Cassius Cuvée. TA never DMs you. Somebody just joined. I don't know who it was. Oh, it looks like maybe it was a scammer. Fake Cassius Cuvée, I think, joined. Anyways, yeah, we're still in this trade right now because we have not gotten a green dot on even the 5-minute yet. Once the 5-minute comes into a green dot, we might get out of there. But yeah, have a wonderful evening, a rest of a wonderful Sunday. I'm going to take off this shirt. Sometimes I like to wear the same outfit that I wore on my trip just to kind of commiserate what we were doing down there in Vegas. I had a great time in Vegas, y'all. I highly suggest getting out to in real life events. To anybody who's in crypto, if you want to meet folks and want to really get into the community, there's nothing like meeting people in real life because there's just too much weird stuff and scammers online. You ain't no telling if something's real or fake. But in real life, man, it's always a vibe at a crypto event. So good having you guys on, man. This is the Come Up with Cassius Cuvée. And, you know, I'm going to do things by popular demand. So if people want me to scalp, I'm going to do scalping. You want me to do other stuff, I'll do other stuff. But I feel like a lot of people want me to do scalping. I honestly win better at scalping, so I like scalping. But basically, man, I'd be giving y'all the game for free. I had somebody complain that the discount wasn't big enough on Breakout Prop. I'm like, but so you must not like money? Any discount is better than paying full price. Breakout Prop doesn't do sales, so ain't no waiting around for that. So anyways, share the referral code if anybody wants to join Breakout Prop. Give it a try. It's free to create an account, but this is only when you purchase the evaluation. And the same thing with Phemex. This is where you can copy trade me on there. You can join the copy trading. You literally just put in some money and I do the trading for you and you just sit back and relax. So I'm here for the community every day, man. So shout out to the Profit Circle, all the wave makers, all the influencers who won something. That was a great time down there at Rare Evo in the 2025 Crypto Influencer Awards, hosted by your boy Cassius Cuvée. We had a great time, man. But that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. But I think that's it. When I get out of this trade, you know, I'll put it in the Profit Circle in the group, and I'll let you guys know. I'm up $105 right now. Should we let it ride? Now we're going to get out. We're going to get out when we see a 5-minute green dot and maybe a 10-minute, you know, really for sure when a 10-minute green dot comes. All right, y'all, man. That's the come up for today. Sunday Funny. Be here same time next Sunday at noon. Holla at your boy. Be on the lookout for a trading course coming soon. Any questions, leave them in the general chat of the Profit Circle. And that's all I got for you guys today.